In Aden, it's called Ma'lama. The teacher was the imam or prayers leader of the mosque. He was an unremarkable middle-aged man. We sat on the tiled floor reading or listening to him read verses from the Quran to us. He had a long stick, and if you dozed off or got into conversation with another boy, you will feel the sting of his stick on your arm or leg or shoulder, along with the exhortation, pay attention, stop talking. Our teacher also had another source of English, which was that he washed the bodies of individuals who died and who had no family to pay for the washing. That's part of the preparation for the burial ritual. Sometimes there was a scheduling conflict, and he had to perform those duties during class hours. So he would dismiss us. We were always happy when that happened.
Can I have your card?
We even began to recognize the municipality's van that was sent to pick him. And once we saw it approaching the mosque, one of us would alert the teacher, teacher, the car is here. We were too young at the time to feel guilty about the fact that our happiness was related to a person's death. There was a Somali family, a sort of distant relative, that lived close to a Johar mosque. And our mother would tell us to stop there if my brother Ismail Basha and I needed to rest or assistance. But we rarely did that because we knew that our mother and her female friends chatted and exchanged information about their children, and we did not want some wrong impression or shortcomings on our part reported to our mother. One day, the Imam caught me and my brother talking instead of reading the Quran. He was annoyed and said we were distracting other students. He then added that we had done similar things before and that he had warned us not to repeat. Therefore, we had to bring our father to the mosque. So the Imam would discuss with him our disruptive behavior. My brother and I feared telling our father about what happened, since we were certain we would get corporal punishment, especially since the misbehavior happened in the mosque. Because of our fear, we did not tell our father about what happened. We could not go to the lessons at the mosque either, because the Imam expected us to come with our father. Both options were bad. We were in a jam. We didn't know what to do, so we did neither. We didn't tell our father, and we didn't go to class. For about a week, we would pretend we were going to school, and instead go and amuse ourselves in a different neighborhood where it was unlikely for someone who knew us would see us. And then around the time when the lessons would end, we would head home. We continued like this for 4 days, but on the 5th day, I had an argument with my brother at home. Our father asked what the ruckus was all about, and as I began explaining, my brother interrupted me, contradicting what I said. I got upset. I bluffed him. Anyway, we haven't been going to class, Dad. What do you mean? My dad asked. Then I told him all that happened at the mosque. I really did not plan to do this, but did it under the pressure of the moment. Of course, I knew that whatever punishment I got, my brother would get even worse treatment because he was older than me and was held to a higher standard. For some reason, I do not understand, we did not receive any punishment right then and only got off with a mild rebuke after our father went to see the Imam. Masjid al-Jawhar existed in the shadow of the much larger and more prestigious Al-Aidarus Mosque. The two mosques were related in that the Aidarus Mosque had the bigger annual Ziyara festival, while Al-Jawhar had a small festival, a combination of a community event akin to what in the US would be called a street fair and a religious festival. The fair would be a mix of events: Boy Scouts in uniforms, spit drills, snake charmers played flutes for snakes, clowns made faces and silly gestures, Magicians performed scary tricks. Sweets and drinks were sold by vendors all along Al-Aidarus street. It was a day that only could be compared with the Eid in the joy it brought, especially to the young. The food on that day was also a special treat called zurbiyan. Lamb meats slowly cooked with rice, saffron, and other spices, plus yellow and pink and other food coloring. My mother did not have to cook lunch on that day, as it was provided by the sprawling and Aidarus establishment, and one of us took it from there to our home. After a year of Quranic school, our father enrolled us in Bazara school. The medium of instruction in this school was in Arabic. Every morning, the whole school would stand up in several straight lines and do a sort of military drill. The physical education teacher had a whistle, and we would follow his instructions. Separate our legs widely and snap them together, lower our arms, stretch them to our sides on a horizontal position, hold them straight up. These early morning exercises were supposed to remove any lingering drowsiness and make you alert and ready to learn. One of the teachers, Ustad Hariri, was really a sadist and should have had no business